You were the calm one, the one who noticed the tension before anyone said a word, the one who learned very early to read a room like it was a weather system. And somewhere along the way, people started calling you mature. But what if that maturity wasn't growth? What if it was survival? Some children grow up in homes where the emotional climate is unpredictable. A parent who is anxious, a house filled with tension, a silence that quietly means something is wrong. So the child adapts. They stop asking for too much. They become the one who keeps the peace. They begin managing other people's emotions before they understand their own. Psychologists call this parentification, when a child takes on emotional or practical responsibilities that belong to an adult. It doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's simply a child who knows exactly when to stay quiet, a child who learns to calm conflicts before learning long division. And the brain rewards this because managing the environment feels safer than depending on it. If this sounds familiar, here's the first thing to understand. You are not broken. You were simply forced to grow up too soon. Your nervous system did exactly what it was designed to do. It adapted to help you survive an environment that felt unpredictable. The problem isn't that you became capable. The problem is that people praised the coping strategy, so no one ever told you it was one. Being the mature one wasn't your personality, it was a role you learned before you had the chance to choose one for yourself. Here's what was happening inside your brain. The amygdala, one of the brain's primary systems for detecting potential threats, doesn't only respond to obvious danger. In unpredictable environments, it stays alert, constantly scanning for emotional changes. Psychologists often describe this state as hypervigilance, a nervous system that has learned to watch for problems before they happen. At the time, that made sense. Noticing changes early could help you prepare. It could help you avoid conflict. It could even help you feel safer. Over time, another pattern can develop. Psychologists call it self-verification. We often seek situations that confirm the identity we've learned to believe about ourselves. If you became the fixer as a child, you may still find yourself fixing everyone else as an adult, not because you enjoy it, because it feels familiar. And to the nervous system, familiar often feels safe. The cost is easy to miss. You become skilled at regulating everyone else's emotions while forgetting to notice your own. So how do you begin to step out of a role you never chose? First, notice the pattern without judging yourself. When you feel the urge to solve someone else's emotions, simply say, "I'm doing the old pattern." Awareness creates choice. Second, allow feelings to exist without fixing them. Someone else's disappointment does not always need your intervention. Each time you resist the urge to rescue, your nervous system learns that discomfort isn't always danger. Third, ask yourself a different question. Not, what does everyone else need, but what am I feeling right now? Putting emotions into words, sometimes called affect labeling, helps reduce their emotional intensity and brings more awareness to your own experience. Fourth, let people know you before they need you. Healthy relationships are built through genuine connection, not constant usefulness. You don't have to earn your place by carrying everyone else's weight. Finally, allow yourself to build a new identity slowly. You are allowed to discover who you are without a crisis to solve. That isn't selfish, it's growth that simply had to wait. Here's the image to remember. Imagine you built a sturdy shelter during a storm. It protected you, it helped you survive, but years later the weather has changed. You don't have to spend the rest of your life inside that shelter. You can step outside, you can build something larger, something chosen. Maturity that grows from safety looks different from maturity that grows from fear. One is freely developed, the other was assigned. Now, for the first time, you get to discover the difference. You don't have to earn your rest anymore. You don't have to scan every room before you're allowed to belong in it. The child who learned to become careful too soon isn't broken. They've simply been carrying a responsibility that was never meant to be theirs. Maybe now they can finally put it down.